All right. We are live. Welcome to another episode of the Managing Partners Podcast. Today I'm joined by Min Koo. Have I said that right?
Yes.
Thank you so much for being on here today. I know we've chatted back and forth on LinkedIn a little bit. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to the show. First
Thank you
off,
for having
introduce
me.
yourself. Yeah, if you would just introduce yourself, and let us know, let the audience know a little bit about you personally, maybe where you're located, things you like to do, and then we'll get into some business related questions.
Sure. My name's Min, and I'm the managing partner of Infinity Trial Group, which is a personal injury law firm. I'm a 17th year attorney, and I used to be a defense attorney, insurance defense attorney. And then I I was actually one of the only one out of my siblings to be born in South Korea. And moved here when I was about 10 because my dad was actually, believe it or not, in the U.S. Army. So he was stationed in Columbus, Georgia. So my
Fort
family's still
Benning.
there. Yes, Fort Benning. Yeah. So my family's still there. I consider myself a Columbus girl, but my office is actually in Atlanta. Like I said, other than the time that I grew up there from the age of 0 to 10, I moved out to Korea for several years to be the general counsel at Samsung Insurance Company. So I was there for in-house, a global in-house job. And then I moved back and decided, I want to use this insurance expertise to help people. So all the insurance obviously is involved in all the medical negligence products cases, car wrecks. So now I'm using that to open my own firm and help people on an individual basis.
Very interesting. So I did see that, some of that in your background. And actually, my brother was stationed in the Army at Fort Benning. So when I was a teenager, I would go down there and visit. And it was a hot place in the summer. So,
Yeah, definitely.
but I saw some of your background as far as the devices are concerned. And I thought that was pretty interesting. So that makes a lot of sense with kind of the background you said there. I've actually had a friend of mine get burned by a Samsung device that the battery exploded, and had a case, and I think it went in his favor.
The funny thing is that I have cases like that right now, and it's against Samsung. So I work for the insurance company, and obviously the insurance company also insured a lot of the Samsung electronics and batteries and phones and that sort of thing. But funny enough, I'm now on the other side representing the victims against the people that I kind of knew.
Oh, turn of events. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
So, you give us a little bit about your firm in there. And so what would you say? I mean, you kind of hinted at it, but right now, I guess your area of expertise of what you're really focused on and what you're trying to, everyone has like the cases they like, the sweet spot. What are the cases that you're really, I guess, looking for or trying to grow?
I have a lot of car accident cases, and obviously, I'm very familiar with those, having defended on the defense side for several years. But I've also have extensive background in products cases. I've handled, cell phone battery explosion cases to, car tow truck wires to, anything you name it, TV, refrigerator.
Wow.
Even the heaters and dryers, bursting into flames, all sorts of things. So products cases are something that I enjoy doing, and it takes a lot of expertise and a lot of, complexities involved in that is really challenging. So I enjoy that legal aspect of it as well. So I've handled those, and I've also handled a number of medical malpractice cases. So anything in between, I've always just working on new cases, and most importantly, I enjoyed learning, different complexities that comes in, even the same type of cases. You're going to have different issues popping up. So I don't have like a sweet spot that I would say I just want these kind of cases. I would say I have sort of the car wreck cases, products, and medical malpractice, and then I also have some cases that involves civil rights issues.
Interesting. So it sounds like you don't like to have the norm and you like a challenge. So you're like, bring it on, and you get to learn something new, and you have to figure it out.
Yeah, and I like the aspect where, you're never going to have the same fact pattern. You're never going to have the same exact issues, even in a, run-of-the-mill car wreck cases. And I like the fact that, your expertise, if you're a good attorney, you can sort of win even the unwinnable cases. And I have a lot of those kind of cases, actually. Sometimes when you're a brand new firm, you get referred a lot of cases that maybe are little more complex, little more of a headache for other firms. So they refer those cases to you, and you kind of take those cases. And it's really challenging, but I also enjoy it. And it's really satisfying when you win those cases, no matter how much the money is. It's not the millions of dollars. If it's big enough, good case, anybody can win those. But I almost feel like it's the smaller cases that are more complex and often a lot more difficult to win. So when you get a good settlement out of those and good results, clients are extremely happy, happier than maybe if they had won like $1 million on a bigger case per se. And it's very satisfying.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, when you're starting out, and when did you start this firm?
So about 1.5 years ago.
Okay.
So I came back from Korea about 3 years ago, and I took a little time off, and I thought this is one of those moments in my life where I'm going to be able to take some time off and do the things I want to do. So I took some time off, and I just sort of decided that I really want to get into a situation where I want to be able to help individuals and work with them closely on a one-on-one basis. And so I decided that this was the right path for me. So it's been great thus far.
Yeah, the vacation's out the window now. You're gone. You're done. So interesting. Anyone watching? We had some chat back and forth, and when I was trying to get Min on the podcast, and I reached out to her, and she's like, "Oh, I don't think I'm the right guest." And I'm starting my business in the worst time, and COVID, and all this stuff, and she's like, "But I'm still in business." I'm like, "You're a perfect guest." So starting the company is hard enough. Going off on your own, and then also having a climate that we've had and the situations that we've had. Min's here. She's still growing and focused and ready to go. So I think that takes a lot, and a lot of people would maybe not go that far or give up or go try to work in another firm. So I think what you're doing is awesome, and I think it makes you a very good guest, and everyone should be listening to what you have to share.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. So now I know this question we talked a little bit before is, and I think I kind of talked to you about some ideas, but you just started your business not too long ago. What do you think could impact your business? So there's economic or, how has COVID impacted? Of course, COVID hit pretty much right after you started. Anything you see that could positive or negatively affect, your business? Was more referrals, less referrals, the courts opening back up, what do you see that can impact your business?
Well, because of the COVID, one of the things that I saw in one of my cases, like a lot of my cases actually, that hadn't gone into suit yet, I saw that the insurance companies that are always, usually they're always taking a hard line and trying to obviously get the best negotiations for the company. But I was seeing even a lower offers than the normal before the pandemic because they knew the courts were closed. So it was almost like the insurance companies were saying, are you really going to be filing a lawsuit on a case like this size and have to wait another maybe a year or two because of the pandemic? So it was a very unfair situation that I found a lot of my clients in because they were getting offers that were even lower than even before the pandemic time. So I think with the courts opening back up, all those claims are either going to either settle for a little bit better amount for having waited. Otherwise, I think there are going to be a lot more bad faith claims against insurance companies. So I think from the market, just a legal market standpoint, there's going to be perhaps a little bit more increase in claims against the insurance company for bad faith handling of the claims that had been pending during the pandemic. In terms of how the law firms are operating, perhaps changing because of the pandemic, is obviously aside from the safety issues and the protocols that they're putting in place. It's also kind of making law firms, at least, from my perspective, changing the ways of communicating with the client. You can no longer kind of see them. So it's kind of important to feel more connected to your clients. Otherwise, a lot of the clients that I have don't have the laptops or the computers to be able to get on a Zoom and see face to face. So I've had clients that I wasn't able to have any sort of in-person contact or face to face encounter. So I would call those clients a little bit more so that at least we can talk on the phone. I would communicate them with emails and text more so that they don't feel like they're sort of neglected or they're not part of the process on their claim. So I've sort of done a little bit more hands-on communications with the clients during the pandemic.
I love that. That's very good. And I think, I know we always struggle with this, and we've always worked on this, is communication with clients is
right.
The most important thing. Good or bad, you got to communicate, and you have to communicate often. And I think where you see an opportunity or a potential problem, you turn it more into an opportunity where, hey, I'm going to reach out where I can't see you. I'm going to just call you twice or
right.
talk to you more often.
Right.
But
right.
yeah, you got to have the clients have to be happy. They have to feel that they're being taken care of, and you want to get in front of them before they call you and say, hey, where is this? I haven't heard back.
Right.
100%. We try to drill that through our team's heads all the time. So if they're watching. Well, actually, that's great insight. Actually, that's not something I've heard others doing. So that's something new to me. So that's excellent. And I think, things are hopefully going back in the right direction. We got, things opening back up and going back to normal just a little bit, vaccines and stuff like that. So hopefully that's good news for everybody in business. So with that in mind, what, other than, staying in business and keeping the money coming in, what is your plans? What does the year look like? Do you have any visions of the next couple of years? You got any goals as far as the firm goes?
Sure. I would like to see a little bit more organic growth. Obviously, I love getting referral cases from other attorneys, but I think every firm also wants to have a good organic growth, to have a good mixture of both. And so I want to kind of focus on that area. And the way I've been doing it is slowly building up my credibility in the market. So through the referring attorneys, I give them a great feedback. I write them reports as if I used to be an insurance defense attorney writing reports to the insurance company. So I would write, fairly extensive reports and update them. And I communicate with them fairly regularly, especially because the cases, like I said, have been referred are a little bit more complex, a little bit more difficult to win. So I would communicate effectively and, report back on really great results. And once you get a couple of good results for a referring attorney, they continue to give you more cases. So I feel like that's sort of going to be, building on itself. So it's the organic growth that's always a little bit more difficult. And through that, I'm actually doing that, hopefully, with the clients that I do have. The clients that I've handled cases for thus far in the short year and a half have all been extremely happy with the results and extremely happy with the level of communications I provided. So without even me asking, they are, giving me great reviews, and they would say things like, I'll tell anybody that, needs an attorney to talk to you. And the same way for intakes, like I have on my website, like a lot of firms, just free consultation forms that you can fill out, or you'll just, give me a call through the office. And I do extensive sort of consultation with them, knowing that sometimes the cases aren't, there isn't actually a legal claim to pursue or something that, I can perhaps help them with. But the amount of time and attention I often provide on these even, cold intakes, they're so grateful. And I feel like those will eventually build on. And if they have somebody that needs an attorney, it would eventually, hopefully, find their way to me. So those are the kind of organic growth that I've been sort of working on before, during the pandemic. And hopefully with the, things opening back up, I can do a little bit more networking and a little bit more marketing in person.
Yeah, that's great. Give. So, and the world will return it. So that's good. I like that a lot. Okay. Well, I guess you kind of covered that there. Any kind of marketing strategy, I guess that's worked well for you at this point. Obviously, connecting with other firms, getting referrals. Is there anything else you've done? I mean, your site looks nice. Is there anything you've done that's, I guess, been effective? Any outreach, LinkedIn, things like that?
Unfortunately, I know this is sort of the digital age and I need to be more active on social media, but I'm really not. I've been just kind of focused on, it's kind of hard to sort of market yourself. At least I've found it more challenging. I would rather do 100 hours of legal work, research, and writing than do a little bit of social media. So that's not where my comfort level is. So I've been trying to do things that I feel comfortable, which is, I offered to do, a lot of free consultation, as I mentioned. I spend a lot of time doing that. And, I can't tell you the number of times that I have heard the potential client that I end up not signing saying, you're the first person that actually even got on the phone with me. A lot of times they'll just say, hey, send me what you have. We'll, send you a letter or something to that effect. But, I'll answer questions. And those things I feel like those are things that I'm good at, that I'm providing extra value other than perhaps some of them not at bigger firms or other firms. So those things have been pretty effective. I've had other people kind of inquire saying, hey, I heard somebody that talked to you and you gave them, helped them out. So I wanted to call about my case. Things of that nature. So, and then I also provide, services where I can to the communities that I'm part of. I'm obviously Korean American, so I'm very active in the Korean American Attorney Bar Organization. So we put out seminars and, community services. So I try to get involved in those areas and hope that itself will eventually be enough of a marketing so that I don't actually have to do active marketing on social media.
Yeah, well, so it sounds like you have the content there. You just got to capture it and do the effort. And that's most people. There's usually, we have a lot of clients where they're like, yeah, I don't know what we can talk about. And you quickly find that there's a lot there. You just have to capture that moment or, be able to document what you're doing. But yeah, it can be a little, a lot of people are just like, I don't want to do it, or they feel weird about marketing themselves. So yeah, I completely understand that. But what you're doing though, I mean, getting in with people, referrals, helping people, being in the community, that's definitely going to help you for sure. So there would become a time where you're like, okay, I need to step it up a little bit. But I think what you're doing now is really good. So as far as I guess the next couple months, big things with your firm, and well, I guess other things too. What areas do you service? Is there a particular geographic area?
Just the entire state of Georgia.
Okay, the whole state.
Yes.
Okay.
There's not a case that I've got currently cases up in, Savannah area, obviously Columbus, Cedartown, all over Georgia. So yeah, okay. Geography is not a limitation.
All right, you heard that. Anyone in Georgia, you gotta give them a call. Now, actually, we do have a question that came in. Let's see. Oh, we just got to thank you here.
Oh, that's so nice. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Well, Min, what is the best way? I'm going to post a link. Everyone listening, I'm going to post a link here to her website, so you guys can check that out. What is the best way for people to connect with you, reach out to you? Is it LinkedIn, Facebook?
LinkedIn, website. Obviously, my website has a free consultation form, so you can fill that out, or you can call me on the number that's on the website. I also oftentimes, even to potential clients, I give up my cell phone number so that they can reach me. So that's available, and that's how I communicate oftentimes with all my clients. Sometimes they don't want to go through the receptionist and get my voicemail after work hours, but I always tell them, you can call me 24/7 even on weekends. And sometimes they do, but that helps because that means that I don't have to go through, voicemails on Monday morning, try to return all the calls and try to remember what they're wanting. So I kind of like to have, immediate contact if possible, and a return call no later than, a couple of hours after they've called me. So all
Well,
those
yeah,
are great areas to contact me.
yeah, that's great. So, service is senior to selling, service is over everything. So, and with what you're doing, and again, that's something that I'm constantly working on my business is service, customer experience. For us, we do, more long-term stuff, but
Hmm.
I want to sign a client on, but I want to keep that client, and we need to make sure we keep them happy and we're doing the right things, getting results. There's a lot of things we got to do, but that communication part and access to us or my team, everything like that is very important, and can set you really apart from everyone else. I think a lot of the bigger firms, they're all protected. You're not going to get to the attorney probably
Right,
at all in some
right,
cases.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know sometimes, the clients have a question that I can answer within 5 seconds, but they don't want to talk to my assistant or paralegal for, 15 minutes only to say, hey, I'll have them get back to you. So I said, if there's anything about your case, or if you just have even if you just want to vent, or, if you want to just say, I don't understand why this is taking so long, I'm just frustrated and want to talk to me about it, I said, give me a call. That's fine. That's what I'm here for. So it's been great thus far. Yeah.
I love it. That's awesome. You do what the others won't do, and I think and you enjoy it. So you're passionate about it. You want to talk to these your clients and help them. So I think
Yeah.
that's going to do well for you.
That's exactly right. I mean, I'm so passionate about it. I have wanted to be an attorney my entire life, ever since I was little. So when I moved here when I was 10, a lot of people don't know this, but I didn't speak a word of English. So I
Oh,
had
wow.
to learn the alphabets and learn how to speak English when I was from the age of 10. And obviously English became my it was actually more like first language, because I was at that point more comfortable with English, having used it more than Korean. Of course, I didn't have to move back and work at Samsung, which is a Korean company in Korea. So now my Korean level is up to this level of English. So I'm a native speaker in both languages, which is great. But I forget the point I was trying to make with this.
Well, do you have being from Korea, or do you have clients that are from there? Do you see like you're getting referrals or clients from Korea?
Oh, yes. So I actually had, because my background is in insurance, obviously, even when you have a commercial business, you have insurance on your business, and sometimes you have claims that are being denied. I used to handle a lot of insurance coverage claims, obviously from the perspective of the insurance companies, and having worked in-house, I was overseeing a lot of underwriting that was done at the company. So when individual business owners, they've got big claims that they're being denied and they want to fight it, I handled those kind of insurance coverage disputes, and basically a breach of contract claims against insurance company as well. And I've had Korean businesses. Obviously, there's a lot of strong Korean community presence in the state of Georgia. So I've been fortunate enough to be able to represent some of those businesses and those contract disputes with insurance companies.
Interesting. Okay, yeah. Is there I'm not aware if is there like a Korean American Chamber of Commerce or something to that effect? I know you said that
There,
there was a
yes,
bar
there's like
association.
a Korean coalition, coalitions and communities like that, where a lot of the Korean communities and business owners connect. Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. I
Mhm.
actually was speaking with a lawyer out of New York. She's an attorney, sorry. And she was in France. And so she was really big in there's a French Chamber of Commerce, and she was getting a ton of referrals and work from that. And she did a lot of business law and things like that.
Mhm.
So she would work with a lot of French businesses that were trying to either do business here or vice versa. So I thought that was pretty
Right.
interesting. Yeah.
Right. And, a lot of the Korean business owners are obviously, they're fluent in English, but some of these terminologies and concepts in, legal concepts are difficult. And sometimes it's a little bit easier for them if they can have somebody that can explain things in Korean, and that helps. So I have used my language skills in some of those cases, so it's come in handy.
I mean, I could see if I was in another country, that would feel more comfortable if someone could
Absolutely.
talk to me.
Right. And there are cultural differences and nuances dealing with a different culture. So you have to be sensitive when you're representing clients of different culture. So it really helps when your attorney understands that and is from that culture and has that shared experience.
Yeah, I love it. It's great. All right. Well, anything else you want to add? Anything else you want to share? If not, we can tell, I think I posted your link and people can connect with you on LinkedIn. I posted that too. I'll share your profile, but she'll be tagged in this. Anyone wants to follow Lynn, please do that. Connect, reach out to her. I'm sure she'll answer any questions you have. It sounds like she's open to that.
Absolutely. And I guess the only thing I'd like to add is that, a lot of firms, especially the bigger firms, like they have their internal threshold. Like, the case is not big enough for them to handle because it just doesn't make sense for the kind of resources they have to run and the overhead they have to upkeep. And my firm, not only because I'm starting out, but because this was part of the reason that I wanted to go out on my own, is that no case is too small. And because for that injured person, it means the world to them to have this claim resolved favorably. And it is a stressor for them. It needs somebody that understands what that stressor is like for them. So we don't have a threshold. No case is too small. If it's something that I believe that I can help get them the right results, I will put all the time and effort into that case as if it was $1 million case. So there's that.
I love it. Yeah, that's awesome. I really just appreciate you being on and excited for you and your business, and cheers to all the success, and hopefully you just crush it. So
thank you, Kevin, for having me on. It's been great. I appreciate everything you guys do. It's a great program. So thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much. All right, everyone. We'll see you soon.